Hello, this is time. Your Excellencies, let me respectfully stand on all due and existing protocols. I thank the organizers of this event for the honor of inviting us to participate and for the topic, the issue of sustainability for economic prosperity. I only knew this morning that we're going to comment on it, as I told the organizers, but I think it's a worthwhile topic for us to comment on. Economics, when you talk about SDG, which is where you drive this from when she was reading, it is aftermath of Millennium Development Goals, which lasted from year 2000 to year 2015, and this is lasting from 2015 to 2030. And I agree with what Prof said, that we are about hiring the new CEO for the company called Nigeria. So we have to look at the people's past and what they've been able to do. MDG goal, which ended in 2015, for your records, I started implementing it in year 2008 in Anambra State. And by the time it ended in 2015, I was #1 in Nigeria. And as we move on, what we are going to do, because it's critical, as we move on in what we are going to do, for me, the Labour Manifesto is already mainstreamed along the SDGs. You can go and look at the manifesto, it's already mainstreamed, and we put it into our development agenda and what we want to do, following what our experience with MDG. Then it comes to where, for you accountants, your contribution to that development. Nobody can think about whatever we're going to do, whether you call it SDG or anything, without knowing that accountants, chartered accountants, play a critical role in development. Because whatever you plan, whatever you want to do, you have to ensure, one, the financial sustainability of it. You have to come into the budgeting, the forecasting, and most importantly, the revenue. Because at the heart of tax is you. You have to bring the taxation into it. Today, what the most critical problem of Nigeria, apart from other things that are besetting it, insecurity, everything is revenue to GDP, which is often shouted about that we don't have enough revenue. We don't have enough revenue because to GDP, even among the African pairs, we are 6%, when the average in Africa is 16%. Going globally is even worse. The reason is, so at the heart of it is you. It is you that is supposed to help the government to organize when the government starts doing the right things. How are we going to do it to ensure that this tax revenue comes in order to be able to build these sustainable goals? At the heart of it is you must secure and unite Nigeria. Today, Nigeria is among the fragile states, so security becomes paramount and critical. You must govern by rule of law and ensure that we fight what one of the candidates has mentioned, issue of corruption. At the heart of everything happening here in this country today is corruption. You have corruption of all sorts, corruption in terms of the way you appoint people to be in office, by appointing incompetent people, corruption, the way we do our expenditure, corruption in terms of if you look at our subsidy today, it's virtually an organized crime. Today, our oil is being stolen by who? By people in government. And you can go on, and the heart of it is this. So you must remove a country and show that we must now have a country where there will be wealth with enterprise. In any country where government officials are richer or politicians are richer than business people, that country is finished. And that's what you're getting here. So you have nothing to account for. So for me, If you are going to talk about sustainability for economic development, is to start doing the right thing. What are we going to do? I've said my number one priority is to secure and unite Nigeria. People will tell you security is so difficult. It's not difficult. It's only in Nigeria that somebody kidnaps me and is phoning my brother, negotiating price. If I'm sick, he calls police, he calls doctor, they come and treat me. Everybody knows where we are, but except police. It's not acceptable. With technology today, with technology and everything today, you know where the crime is taking place, and you can sort it out. We have to have the level 3 level policing, local government, state, and national. In terms of corruption, it is easy to fight. People make it look as if it's difficult. It is not. The box stops on your desk. If you yourself is not stealing, those around you are not. You reduce it by 70%. Two of my accountant generals are your member. You can go and ask them how much was missing in Anambra State. And it's very simple. This is what we want to translate. We want to be able to move the country from consumption to production. And when you come to moving from consumption to production, whenever I say moving from consumption to production, the first thing people ask is, what are you going to do? The greatest assets of Nigeria today is the vast uncultivated land in the north. If you put that land into production, it will make a difference. Yesterday, we had a professor who was delivering a lecture in Lagos, Professor Stephen of this thing, and he talked about Bangladesh and Vietnam, which was a basket case yesterday. And I told him how I've won all the fields of Bangladesh. Nigeria today, a country, when he finished that lecture, I joined somebody who was from Yobe State. And he said, in Yobe State, they cannot do. I said, Yobe State is 45,000 square kilometers of land. Yobe State is bigger than Netherlands. If you add Borno State, you have 115,000 square kilometers. That can go for half, a quarter of the entire land in Europe. Thereby, you have to be productive. If Netherlands can export 120 billion worth of agricultural goods every year, at 33,000 square kilometers of land, Yobe State should do 1.5 times that. 1.5. And 1.5 is just about $2 billion. We're not asking for too much. 1.5% of that is $2 billion. And if you do $2 billion, at rate of exchange today is 1.3 trillion. Thereby, you shouldn't be going to here to take the share of your distance. So we want to move the country, make it productive, stop corruption. These are things you can use to stabilize your currency, which is collapsing today because you're not productive. You're not exporting anything. You're not selling anything. This is how you can pull people out of poverty. The more you pull people out of poverty, the more you reduce criminality and be able to make the country sustainable. You cannot talk about sustainability in a situation where gangsters have taken over your country. You can't talk about sustainability when you have 33% unemployment. You can't talk about sustainability when you have 20 million out of school children. No, these are things you have to tackle first. As you're doing it and you mainstream the sustainability aspect of SDG into your mainstream, you will be able to drive the process. But in conclusion, as the professor said, he said, borrowing Linkwayon, you don't need too much of sophistication or written documents. All you need to do is to continue to do simple things consistently, and you get there. A few quick comments if I go to what the Accord candidate mentioned when he said about what I said about consumption to production. When I mean that, I talk about the entire value chain. I did say we need to create an enabling environment, a regulating environment that will allow businesses to thrive. especially micro, small businesses. Not having time to expatiate, I would have expatiated on what I did. And in terms of education, I mentioned it, I was very clear when I talked about HDI. I said, go to Anambra and see what we did in education. I don't think anybody can talk about education in this country without talking what happened in Anambra State, where even a presidential candidate has said schools were closed for 2 years and he did not allow a governor to come back. But the same state became number one, 2011, 2013 to 2013. So it's a difference. So that is the wrap up of that. On issues that we are discussing, we need to move the country. I say it again, this country needs to move from consumption to production. It's not producing enough, it's not exporting enough. There's a lot you can do today to create jobs. We can't have a country of this size with this 30-something% unemployment and don't have problem. Every country of our size, from Vietnam to Indonesia, have less than 10% unemployment. That's why they have less problem. And they have issues that we have here, agitations and all banditry. But the more they pull people out of poverty, the better they are doing. And like I said, doing simple things and doing it consistently. Next election should not be based on ethnicity or tribe. There's no tribe in Nigeria that buys bread cheaper or have uninterrupted electricity or have better roads and everything. It should not be based on religion. The Muslims don't buy bread cheaper, neither do Christians. All these things are ethnic. All these things we see, ethnic, religion, or my tongue, are all elite conspiracy to keep us down. When people talk about it, let's look at the past. What were people able to do in the past? Where are they coming from? Let them show us where they manage. If you say you're not going to be corrupt, let's see how you manage the last money that was given to you and everything. Next election must be based on capacity, on character we can trust, competency, capability, and determination to do the right thing. Nigeria have all the potential to be a great country, and I say it, give the opportunity to somebody who is competent, he'll turn around Nigeria. Thank you, and God bless you.
We must force free and fair elections on INEC and Tinubu in 2027. We must force it. If we don't force it, then forget it. No need for any elections. It's clear that Tinubu wants to continue beyond 2027 as president of Nigeria. He wants to. And he knows it, that in a free and fair election, he doesn't stand a chance. There are 4 solutions that we can use to force INEC to conduct free and fair elections. 4 solutions. These 4 solutions, if we implement them even 50%, then rigging in the election in Nigeria will be a thing of the past, gone and forgotten. Not even a 5-in-1 Tinubu will be able to rig 2027. Yes, 5-in-1 Tinubu. And I'm talking about Tinubu being the presidential candidate of the APC, Tinubu being the INEC chairman himself, Tinubu being the head of thugs and agberos, Tinubu being the head of the judiciary, and Tinubu being the head of the security agencies. These are the 5 elements that you need to successfully carry out rigging in Nigeria. Now, if we put these 4 solutions into play, a 5-in-1 Tinubu cannot rig elections, because these solutions, they guarantee 100% election transparency. And that is a foundation for free and fair elections. Now there is the issue of, coalition. All of these coalition talks will only yield fruits if there is free and fair election in Nigeria. This is 2025. And we're talking about Tinubu, not 2015. And certainly not a Goodluck Jonathan. Goodluck Jonathan was free, gave INEC a free hand. And whatever happened in 2015 happened. In 2025, as we build up to 2027, do you really and honestly think that a Tinubu will give INEC free hand to conduct free and fair elections? Does it look like it? We already have an INEC that is under the thumb, the control of the APC and Tinubu, an INEC that is now becoming clearly partisan. Do you think that even if we had electoral amendment, that this INEC or the INEC under the next appointee of a Tinubu will give us free and fair elections? First and foremost, electoral reforms. Yes. But after we get electoral reforms, is that the end? We must take it a step further. In fact, 3 steps further. We must add parallel, electronic, real-time polling unit results transmission, collation, and display. Real-time. Parallel to whatever we can get INEC to do. Parallel. We have the application. It's Election Watch. But we need the people, polling unit marshals. How many polling units do we have in Nigeria? 189,000. Round that off to 200,000. Multiply it by 3. So we have at least 3 polling unit agents per polling unit. And each of these polling unit marshals will enter the results from the polling units. And immediately, election closes on election day. Immediately. I'm not talking about 1 hour later. No. Immediately, election closes. Results are counted from the polling unit. We have the result for the whole Nigerians to see on our web portal. We have it. But we must work together to achieve this. We need you to volunteer to become a polling unit agent. This is not a partisan solution. It is not. This is not, oh, I am APC, I am PDP, I am ADC. No. This is a solution for all Nigerians. This is not a, oh, I am obedient, oh, I am Showore, I am, no. Any serious candidate, any serious Nigerian that wants a new Nigeria that works for everybody must, as a matter of necessity, support this solution and volunteer as a polling unit marshal. The application is already developed. We're testing it. We need you to volunteer so that we can put these measures in place. Like I said, if we have these 4 solutions in place, Election Watch being just one of them, it won't matter that Tinubu is 5 in 1. And if we don't have these solutions in place, it won't matter that Peter Obi, El Rufai, Amechi form the biggest coalition. It won't matter because they will be rigged out. And then they will tell you, go to court. I don't want to cry after the election of February 2027, saying they rigged us out. No. We can prevent the rigging if we have free and fair election in Nigeria today. If it is guaranteed. Peter Obi does not need a coalition. He doesn't. And that's why Tinubu is not planning to give you free and fair elections. The signs are there. But we can resist it and defeat whatever rigging arrangement they put in place. Join us to accomplish this task. The links are in the description.